They were at the top's astronomical agency, giving Jillian her moment of fame with an interview, but her daughter, very excited, interrupts and says how proud she is of her mother. Just then, a call from the agency makes Jillian rush off, cutting off the flow of the interview. And here's where it gets crazy. They show us a live video from the space station with Jim Marcel floating around, doing his astronaut things, fixing some equipment. Suddenly, boom! Static noise and lights that look like a party, but in space. Everyone at the station is freaking out, not knowing what's going on with those lights. And when the light show goes full blast, the station looks like a disco during an earthquake. Jim tries to get inside, but his voice cuts off. And well, the guy disappears. Back home, Jillian, with a can't believe it look on her face, shows that spooky video. It turns out satellites around the planet were having the same space rave, but the worst part is that Jim, that poor astronaut, vanished. Charles, the command chief, is devastated because Jim was his buddy, but that's not the end of it. Some brainiacs start checking the video, frame by frame, like looking for an Easter egg in a movie. Alex, who is the boss in explorations, says this light show had happened before, but it disappeared before they could figure out what it was. Jessica, super excited, thinks it's a sign of intelligent life, but Alex, more pragmatic, says we're not ready for that move. The debate is heated. Do we send people to the other side or not? Jillian and Alex are for yes, let's do it, but Charles is like no way. After a debate that seems like the end of a soccer match, they decide to send a mission into the void. Of course, Professor Jacob, as always, is the party pooper, saying everything is going to go wrong. There's a guy who says the human body can't handle traveling through a wormhole. He suggests that instead of sending people, we send robots or probes, But suddenly, space starts releasing a weird smoke that gathers and forms like a bunch of dark balls in the sky. People are really freaking out, and even the space experts, who are supposed to know about these things, are left with a "what is this" look on their faces. A few weeks ago, Jillian and her team discovered that right when these spheres appeared, the void released some waves that can't be seen, but they are there causing trouble. The intensity is increasing, and it seems that at any moment, boom, it's going to unleash a massive space storm. The fear is that when this thing reaches Earth, it could fry us. Now, on the other hand, near a forest, they set up a military base right under one of those nasty spheres, and while everyone is wondering, what's going on here, the space agency joins the army, and hey, they whip out a humanoid that will have the brain of astronauts who have already passed away. Alice, who is a whiz at engineering, presents the Humanoid 2.0 project. Basically, it's a robot that on the inside is like a human and will serve to keep the astronaut's mind alive. And sure enough, Alice, in a professor-like manner, shows off the android's head where the brain would go and explains that the suit has a bunch of neural stuff to make everything work perfectly. After that, Hillian and his team start looking for the brave ones willing to put their brains in the Humanoid 2.0. They offer it to Jessica, but she passes because she thinks she's not up to snuff. Then they run tests on everyone, physical, mental, the works, to see who are the best candidates for this mission. Dr. Cesar Patel, the brainiac behind all this, tells the candidates how it goes. They could live a very long time, but the head might go haywire over time. And among those who make the cut is Carl, a really smart guy who, unfortunately, can't walk, but for him, this is the opportunity to be back at 100% in the place where they're working. They scan Carl's face to make an exact copy for the Humanoid 2.0. This suit is amazing, made of super strong graphene that's like armor, but cool and moves well. The big eyes of the suit have top-notch optics, so Carl will always see perfectly, whether it's day, night, or whatever. And besides, the suit has a system to breathe comfortably and not feel hot or cold. They also put a cool mix in the suit so that Carl's brain has everything it needs. The ship that will carry Carl is tuned to be fast and light. It carries nothing unnecessary. And that's because Humanoid 2.0 needs nothing as it goes alone, like a boss. They will connect a bunch of gadgets to the suit to control it, and to send information to the brain. Alex, who is all about making contact with Martians, has loaded a USB drive with all the info about Earth in case they make friends in space. Later, in the laboratory, Dr. Curries and his team get Carl ready for the body swap. They will spend 3 days on it, with Carl under anesthesia. Before diving into the operation, Carl gets emotional recalling his father, his number one, and dedicates all this madness to his memory before falling asleep. On the other hand, the mystery of the dark spheres in the sky continues. The space agency is like, don't touch anything until they know what's up with the void and those spheres. And hey, there are more and more of those spheres all around the world. The spheres are aligning in a very odd way, as if they were cooking up something big. And dude, 3 days after starting that transplant thing, Dr. Caesar dropped the bomb. Carl passed away. Apparently, the poor guy's brain didn't connect with the artificial spinal cord in the suit. The thing is, his body and the suit didn't match. The whole team was devastated. But you know what? They don't stop. Alice, with that brilliant mind of hers, thought, what if we put something from the candidate himself into the suit? So she designed the Humanoid 2.0 plan that involves adding organic cells to the suit, hoping the link would be a success. Meanwhile, Alex comes up with the proposal to send robots to space, feeling that time is running out on them. But Jillian, who is more cautious, says, hey, what if those aliens think we come with bad vibes? Meanwhile, the news of the day is that they discovered that the agency is examining everyone to see who fits the Humanoid 2.0 plan, and Jessica is one of the selected ones. The next day, Jessica and Jillian are in confession mode. Although Jess knows this could be the key to everything going well, she can't help but be terrified by the idea of permanently switching to a tin body. Jillian tries to calm her down and promises that her family will be fine if something happens to her. After the transplant ordeal, Jessica wakes up all changed. Truth be told, her mind accepted that new metal chassis and the team was over the moon. Jillian and the others looked at her, and you could see in their eyes that, we did it. But hey, it wasn't all celebration. Jess was still in learning mode, somewhat clumsy at talking and moving. Alice, trying to cheer her up, told her, take it easy, babe. We're on fire with getting you to talk again. You'll be as good as new soon. And you know, when Jess could talk again, she felt like her old self. But everything looked different. They had moved her essence smoothly. Now all that was left was to get physical. The day of the launch arrived. A robot went with Jess in that super spaceship as the rocket shot into space. At the base, everyone could see through Jess's eyes. The ship went straight into the void, and Jessica, thrilled, began to describe it. She said it was awesome. But suddenly, the pressure increased, and everything turned into chaos. The screens showed crazy data, and everything began to distort. And then, the ship entered the void, and the connection went kaput. Now Jessica was there, in nothingness, alone with her thoughts. Jillian, always the optimist, thinks they'll make it in a year, but deep down she knows they might never come back. Just a week after Jessica went into space, her ship returns like a shooting star and falls into the Atlantic. Everyone was freaking out because what happened up there for her to return so soon? And when they open the ship, Jessica is there alone, with no trace of her robot colleague. At the Space Center, there's a debate. Jillian, ever the optimist, says, hey, this is a success. But Alex, the party pooper, thinks it's a disaster and even says it might be a warning from the aliens. And poor Jessica there, knocked out, in quarantine, not knowing when she will come back to herself. Thanks to her super modern suit, they find out she has memories of years, but she was only gone for 5 days. And when they try to watch those memories like a movie, the streaming just doesn't work. Things get tense with those dark spheres that nobody understands. The army, in full Rambo mode, decides to attack, but the spheres laugh in their face, and nothing happens. Then, Jessica wakes up somewhat dazed from the whole ordeal of extracting her memories. Jillian, who can't wait, takes advantage of the situation and asks her what the heck happened in space. Jessica tells her that the robot disappeared out of nowhere, as if someone had taken it to a party without telling her. Then she saw a light on her arm and ended up on a strange planet, walking around, touching everything as if she were in a candy store. Suddenly, that dark fog we now see in our sky appears. Later, Jessica finds herself in a super white room, and a shadow turns into Jim Marcel, constantly telling her to relax, that everything will be okay. Jessica remembers strange messages in her head, and that's as far as it goes. The space agency and Jillian couldn't believe what they were hearing from Jessica. Friendly aliens, really? But, of course, Alex, with his skeptical attitude, thinks maybe the aliens have tampered with Jessica's mind and altered her memories. Suddenly, a video speeds by, showing planets and stars dissolving like sugar in coffee before vanishing. A white smoke surrounds them, and just when you think things can't get any more intense, the International Space Station sends a warning that bam, pieces of celestial bodies are going to fall to Earth. But wait, those dark spheres do their thing and cover the Earth with a black mist that seems to act like a shield, stopping all the debris that falls. At the agency, everyone is amazed by what they see. Jillian and Alex realize they were wrong to think badly of the aliens. That mist, which they thought was a threat, has been an umbrella that saved us from a major disaster. Jessica calls in calmly and shares what really happened. The shadows told her they had decided to save humanity after seeing a file Jessica had about us. Despite the fact that we sometimes mess things up, they thought we were worth saving. They told us they would return in the future and left, giving Jessica a very clear message. All this is part of a plan they have to clean up the universe and keep everything in order. One fine day, right in the middle of the Arizona desert, they find Jim Marcel lying around. Who appears? The army. They fly in helicopters, grab Jim, and whisk him off to the space agency. Poor Jim is pressed to spill the beans about what he saw out there, but he has no clue, as if he'd been to a party and forgotten everything. But while everyone is caught up in that drama, from the agency they notice something strange happening in the sky. That space stuff turns into a spiral cloud that, boom, gives birth to a planet that laughs at the laws of physics, science, and even common sense. And the craziest thing is that the planet seems perfect for us. So they name it and everything. Earth 2. It turns out that, after much thought and planning, Earth sends some humanoids to try their luck on this new piece of rock. It seems like the universe has given us another chance. Hope is sky high. Everyone thinks that this time, we're going to behave ourselves. A year after all that space show, Jillian becomes thoughtful. She feels that even though everything seems in order, those aliens are still there, spying on them. The space agency has already sent the first mission with real people to Earth 2, dreaming of a future in which we can all call that place our new home.